The playoffs continue to roll on as we've come to Game 3 of the AWL Conference Semifinals. The series have transitioned to the lower seeds' home field. Who's up for some home cooking? We're going to find out as we look into each of the games. Let's start in the Valiant with Game 3 between the Battlehawks and Monarchs. Battlehawks won their first two games at home 11-5 and 4-2. They're looking to take a commanding 3-0 lead in the series with the win in this one. Tobias Vanderbilt faces Kai Zitkala leading off for the Battlehawks, and she pops out to Archibald Fitzgerald at third. Next is Adeline Swan. She grounds out to Clarissa Covington at first for the second out. Heather Guerrero is up next, and she gets hit by the first pitch of the at-bat, so the inning continues with Jacob Fair. Fair puts the ball in play, but it's another pop-out. This one to Barnaby Belleville III at second. Adelie Battier starts Game 3 for the Battlehawks and strikes out leadoff man Christopher Ponsonby to get things going. Byron Baxter is up next, and he breaks his bat and it's a pop-out to Zitkala at second. Battier ends the inning like she started it, striking out Clarissa Covington. Neither team gets anything going after one. First hit for either team comes as Archibald Fitzgerald lines a single into right with one out in the bottom of the second. Battier gets her fourth strikeout as Calypso Wellington can't catch up to the fastball. Make it 5 as Rufus McCormick swings and misses the curveball. Top 4, and the Battlehawks have a chance with 2 on, 2 outs, and Robin Reed at the plate. Reed isn't able to get it done here as she looks at the curveball for strike 3, and the top of the 4th comes to a close. Bottom 4, and Byron Baxter walks to lead it off. He then gets into scoring position, stealing second with no outs, so a prime chance for the Monarchs now. Baxter is still on second with 2 outs, and Fitzgerald comes up. Fitzy smashes the ground ball into left. Baxter rounds third as Guerrero comes up firing. The throw is a second late, and the Monarchs have the first run of the game. Heather Guerrero is up in a big at-bat on the top of the 8th. Both runners move as the line drive gets into right. Ponsonby's throw home is not in time as the game is tied. Jacob Fair comes up next, and he singles to right. Now the bases are loaded for Khalil Archer. Octavia Blakesley takes over on the mound now. Her first pitch gets away from McCormick behind the plate as runner from third tries to score. Run down here as the throw comes to the plate, and the tag is applied by Fitzgerald for the second out. Archer draws a walk, so once again the bases are loaded, this time for Robin Reed. Reed hits a high pop up to first as Covington makes the catch, and this game is tied as the Monarchs look to take the lead back in their half of the 8th. After a Ponsonby walk, Byron Baxter hits a liner to short. Francoeur can't glove it as it gets into the outfield. The runners end up in scoring position with 1 out for Clarissa Covington. Covington hits a laser to second, off Zitkala's glove, and the go-ahead run scores for the Monarchs. St. Clair puts on the golden sombrero as she strikes out for a 3rd time, and now 2 outs for Archibald Fitzgerald. First pitch swinging pays off here as it's leveled into right center and gone. A little Fitz magic here as the Monarchs have a 5-1 lead. Battlehawks trying to respond in the top of the 9th, and Aya Francoeur singles to center, so a good start. Yuhan Pang flips a single of his own into left, so the first 2 batters reach. Zitkala comes up with 1 out and hits a blooper into left center, deep enough for the runner from second to score, making it 5-2 Monarchs. Adeline Swan walks, so the bases are loaded and the go-ahead run is Heather Guerrero. Willoughby Paxton takes over on the mound. He gets Guerrero to fly out to right, so it all rests on the bat of Jacob Fair. The runners go on the 3-2, but Fair grounds out the first and the Monarchs take Game 3, 5-2. The win gets them on the board in the series now. Battlehawks lead 2-1, and the Monarchs take one of their home games. The 3 stars in this one are Archibald Fitzgerald, Adelie Battier, and Tobias Vanderbilt. Next up we go to Colonial Plaza, home of our Widows, as they look to go up 3-0 in this series against the Pythons on an ominous, overcast evening. Audrey Messier starts her outing, getting Draco O'Toole to ground out to Fatima de la Cruz at second. Kinsley Contreras comes up, and she grounds out to Messier for the second out. The inning ends with a fantastic diving play by De La Cruz as she takes away a base hit from Mac King. Yao Ling tries a bunt to begin the game, but it's up in the air and caught by starting pitcher Duke McGowan for out number 1. Raven Chaos softly hits a single into center, so there's your first hit of the ball game. Lilith Nightingale also singles. Hers goes to right field, so some life in the first as Crush Gonzalez steps in. 3 straight hits as Crush Gonzalez's grounder gets into center. Bases are loaded for Rose Davenport, and we know how good she is in RBI spots. Curveball from McGowan nets him strikeout number 1 as Rose swings over top of it. Now Carla Pontarelli comes up, and she was the hero of Game 2. Pontarelli sends the 2-0 into center. Peralta goes back and makes the catch, so the Widows leave 3 on base, ending the first. Diane Danger steps up in the top of the second with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Messier gets her to pop out to left as Lilith ranges way back to make the grab, so both teams fail to score early. Izzy Peralta is up with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. She takes the 2-1 into the left center gap, and it rolls to the wall. Peralta's got herself a double and in scoring position for Yolanda Tyson. Tyson can't bring her home as she grounds out to Davenport at first to end the inning. Fatima de la Cruz is up with 2 on and 1 out in the Widows' 4th. Ground ball to Danger, and the Pythons turn double play, so both teams fail to score in their half of the 4th. The bottom of the 5th starts with a Audrey Messier single into right as she helps herself out. Ling hits a grounder, and it gets into right as well, so once again the Widows have a runner in scoring position for Raven Chaos. She draws a walk to load the bases for Lilith Nightingale. She pops out to Yolanda Tyson behind the plate for the first out. Gonzalez's at-bat goes poorly as she hits a fly ball to second. Infield fly rule is in effect, so that's an automatic second out. Rose Davenport's chance here, and she gives the ball a ride into center. It bounces off the top of the wall, and she has a 2-out, 2 RBI double as the Widows draw first blood. Tack on 3 more thanks to Carla Pontarelli, as she has a home run in each of the last 2 games. Her 6th RBI of the playoffs makes it 5-0 Widows. The Widows bat around, and Messier gets herself an RBI this time as she slaps a single into center as Raven Chaos from second scores. 1 big inning and the Widows have a comfortable 6-0 lead. Chloe Nightingale adds 3 more to the lead in the bottom of the 6th as she takes the first pitch of her at-bat way out into center, hitting the top yellow line for a 3-run blast. It's Chloe's first of the playoffs, now a 9-0 Widow lead. Bottom 7 and Rose is up with Crush on second. Davenport's line drive hits off the top of Turner's glove at short. Third base coach waves Gonzalez around and she scores, making it 10-0, and that's the final in this one, as Widows have a 3-0 series lead and will look to eliminate the Pythons in Game 4. 3 stars are all Widows. Chloe Nightingale, Carla Pontarelli, and Rose Davenport. Time to head over to the Monument side of the bracket, as the Sirens are back home down 2-0 in the series to the Nightmare. Not a good start if you're a Sirens fan, as Kiwi Lightning Sweet Swing sends the first pitch of the game into center and over the wall for a home run, as Sheba can't bring it back. Her first of the playoffs wastes no time, putting the Nightmare ahead 1-0. Sirens have the bases loaded for Kaoru Koshikawa in their half of the first. Koshikawa hits into the 6-4-3 double play, and the Nightmare are able to preserve the shutout. Bottom 5, and Emi Shiba starts, hoping to give the Sirens some momentum as she hits a line drive off the wall in right center. Shiba has a leadoff double. 1 out, and Chisei Muto has the RBI spot. She comes through as the ball gets down into right, and Shiba scores from second, so it's 2-1 Nightmare. Muto gets herself in a scoring position, stealing second. Miyamizu comes up clutch as she gets this ball into left center, and it's trouble rolling to the wall. Muto scores to tie, and Miyamizu replaces her on second with the RBI double. The inning closes with Koshikawa lining out to right off new pitcher Kaylee Fair. This one's tied up at 2. Chip Lightning leads off the top of the 6th, ripping the 1-1 into left, back to the wall, and gone! Lightning's second home run of the playoffs gives the Nightmare the lead right back. It's 3-2. Bottom 7, and Miyamizu has another chance for an RBI. Chisei Muto steals second, so same situation as last time. Once again, the DH comes through. The 1-1 goes into left center and all the way to the wall. Her second RBI double ties the game again, this time at 3. Kaneko Kawada then gives the Sirens a lead. The line drive gets over Lightning's glove at third as Miyamizu scores. It's 4-3 Sirens. Terada steps in, bases loaded, still 2 outs. Randy Bombasso gets a huge strikeout here and ends the run by the Sirens, but they have a 1-run lead now. Top 8, 2 outs for Hale Barabara. She can't tie the game with this at bat as she pops out to Komuro at third, so Sirens are looking for extra runs in their half of the 8th. Sadako Kaiba leads off with the single to begin their half of the 8th. Kaiba goes, and Yuko Tagaki reaches as she singles to right. Kaiba moves to third with 1 out for Chisei Muto. Muto hits a line drive to the right center gap, and both runs score as it's a 2 RBI double. Clutch at bat from Chisei Muto makes it 6-3 heading to the 9th. Ron Tsuji's looking for her first save of the playoffs, and she's off to a good start, getting Doug Alton to ground out to second. Jack Crackling pops out to Muto for out number 2, so it's all up to Baron Von Baseball. Von Baseball grounds out to first, and the Sirens win 6-3 despite trailing twice. The Nightmares still lead the series 2-1, but this win has to give the Sirens momentum going forward. The 3 stars are Chisei Muto, Mitsuha Miyamizu, and Chip Lightning. Time for our final game as the Swordfish and Tigers do battle in the Tiger Den. This series is tied at 1, so this is a key game for control. Kai Sanchez takes on Dae Kang Yo. Leilani gets the first hit of the game as he singles up the middle into center. Mara Leoso does the same, so the Swordfish are threatening here early. The first 3 batters reach as Donovan Blackwell walks, bringing up Coral Longstroke. Longstroke's out on the liner to left, but Lonnie's able to tag up from third, so the Swordfish score first. Runners on first and second for Sol Ra Chun and the Tigers second. Lonnie turns 2 as he snags the line drive, then gets runner on the way back to second. Huge 2 outs there as Tae Choi steps in. Choi walks, so 2 on, 2 outs for Rina Chu. First pitch is best pitch as Chu takes it into the left center gap. 1 run scores, but the throw to third is in time. We're tied up at 1 heading to the third. Top 3 and runners in the corners for Ariel Gonzalez. She takes the inside pitch high into center. It looks like it's gonna fall, but Rina Chu flashes the leather, taking away the base hit and throws back to first for the 8-3 double play. De La Shawn Newton grounds out to short, so the runner on third is stranded for the Swordfish. Top 5 still tied at 1, and Leilani starts the inning. Liftoff Lonnie does it here as he sends the 1-1 into right. It gets over the high wall and into the seats for a solo shot. His second of the playoffs allows the Swordfish to take a 2-1 lead. Siwoo Boo leads off the Tigers 6 with the single as he hits a grounder past Sanchez on the mound and into center. Hit and run just works as CT Villanueva gets it over the jumping Lonnie and into center for the second hit of the inning. Casey Crosby pinch runs for Villanueva, then Mi Hong Lee hits a hard grounder into center. Dominguez comes up firing and guns out Boo at the plate. Not tying this up yet, he says. Young Won is up now as both runners go. The throw to third is airmailed into left, so the tying run scores. That's all the Tigers get as Solrad Chon pops out the Lonnie at second, but it's all tied at 2 now. Changmin Ost comes in with the bases loaded, facing Coral Longstroke in the top of the 7th. O gets Coral to hit into the inning 5-2-3 double play, so the game stays tied at 2. Rina Chu digs in with 1 out in their half of the 7th. She clobbers a 1-1 from Valdez into left, and that's a no-doubter home run! It's Chu's second homer of the playoffs, and just like that, the Tigers have the lead at home. Final chance in the 8th to get the runner on second home. Benjamin Johansson swings through the inside pitch as Changmin Oh continues his great postseason performance in relief. Tigers looking to end this in the 9th. O's not messing around here as he strikes out Trent Bay for the first out. Later in the inning, Daeseong Park enters for O on the mound and 1 out with runners on the corners. Blackwell hits a soft liner to short. It bounces off her glove. The runner from third goes home. Choi fires and now there's a rundown, and Lonnie is eventually tagged out, so that's 2 outs for Coral Longstroke. She walks to load him up for Ariel Gonzalez. Gonzalez hits a line drive to right, but it's right at G, and the Tigers are victorious 3-2 in a tight ball game that comes down to the very last pitch. The Tigers now lead the series 2-1 and will have 2 more home games potentially to take the series in front of their fans. 3 stars of this one are Leilani, Rina Chu, and Donovan Blackwell. Things are certainly getting interesting as we have an elimination game between the Widows and Pythons, while the Battlehawks, Nightmare, and Tigers all need 2 more wins to wrap up their matchups and move on. Will our Widows punch their tickets first, and will any of these go 7 games? Leave your thoughts down below. And alright you guys, that's gonna do it for me for the video. Thank you all so much for listening and watching. I appreciate you all so very much. While you're here though, do me a favor. Like, share, comment, and if you're new, please subscribe. All of it helps me to continue to grow on this YouTube platform. And also feel free, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Put the links in the description box down below. Until next time you guys, you know what to do. Keep on shining and keep on grinding. I will see you all in the next one.